Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel. Talks about all my cars and trucks and SUVs, the motorcycles, popcorn, the Uncle David, the kid, the F-450, Florida, the adventures. Hey, good Tuesday morning there. Thanks for tuning my channel. If you're a regular and anybody new there, it's watching my channel. It's just a morning conversation to get the day going. I like to do that. I like to talk. I've done that for many, many years, believe it or not. Being in my own business most of my life, and I've had people work for me, and we just start talking in the morning, and I like to just talk about different things. And that's what I've done for many, many years. Anybody that worked for me would say, yeah, the Iceman would do that. We just have these conversations before we got the day going. And that's all it's really about. And I just like to share views, ideas, thoughts. And wow, it's really beautiful here. Beautiful day, not too cool. I got myself some new bells to make it look the Florida look. Got some new shoes and shirt. Got my brother some socks from the advice of others. I'm not lying. I got my brother some socks. He was very happy. He's like, "You get me any underwear?" I'm like, "Well, I haven't been able to see that, you know." So, but yeah, I'll get you some underwear. Yeah, the good old brother. The brother that has an attitude, and he is funny. So, anyways, what are we doing today besides creating another content? Some days I think, what the heck am I going to talk about? I mean, sincerely, I get it. Anybody out there watching my channel says, man, this guy's digging deep. I'll be like, yeah, I'm digging deep. I try to keep a conversation going on a daily basis, and sometimes it's very challenging to bring content that I think people can actually spend time to listen to me talk within a 1 minute to 2 minute time frame as video, that people just turn it off and go look for a different YouTube video. That's just how we are. We want to see something that excites us, entertains us, informs us, and I get all that. And I never said I was the smartest guy of the bunch. And so anyways, the whole point of that is, what are we going to talk about? I think we're going to talk about TV, because yesterday we talked about video, and if you watch my channel, even for me, it was an eye-opener to hear that the first actual YouTube video that's ever posted on YouTube was 2005. I sincerely thought that, no way. I just thought, I thought that would have been back in the 90s. So just for me, as I progress in life, I'm truly stumped sometimes when I read something, and it's just like, wow, that just seems like such a short time ago. I think the kid's been here. She likes to throw her cups on the ground, and she backed out of the driveway. I fixed this yesterday, with it being so wet here that, it's a never-ending project. Yeah, do you think I pulled up close enough on the truck here? Because you get yourself in trouble in the neighborhood, and I'm sure the letter's coming anytime, any day for me having my truck here, but whatever. Or maybe the spy that used to live in the neighborhood left. Maybe. I don't know. Possible. So the TV conversations. But hey, we had a great ride yesterday. Yesterday I bought my dad some windshield wiper blades for his Hyundai. And I'm just getting to be an old man. $20. $20. So that was the cheap ones. And then they're $20. So it doesn't matter if it's a 24-inch or it's a 16-inch. It's $20. I'm like, wow. I spent over $40 yesterday buying windshield wipers for my dad's car. I'm like, that's hard to believe. I'm just getting to be too much of an old man. Cheap ass in some ways. But anyways, yesterday we had a great ride. The kid and I. What I did yesterday, I rode the Harley-Davidson CVO ST by myself for a little while, and that thing is so torquey, such a monster, such a great bike. It really is. So loud, it's a blast. It's a muscle bike. That is the king of Harley's muscle bikes, factory produced. I'm not saying the 131 is not better. Of course it is. You can make your Harley badass. Mr. Sanchez wants to make his new Road Glide badass as can be, and I get all that. But the whole point is the lowrider. I always say the lowriders. Here's a lowrider ST. Here's a CVO ST. And then here's a Fast Johnny ST. So I have the ST series, if you're Harley knowledgeable. And it's all a lot of different things each one has that's unique to its own personality and design. But this is the newest, latest, greatest generation, which I've talked about. It's interesting. A guy yesterday reached out on one of my older, my video that was probably now, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, or whenever I got the CVO ST, And he said it would be a great comparison of the Indian Challenger Elite to the new CVO ST. And I responded, I just traded in my Indian Elite for the CVO ST. So think that through. So to me, if anybody out there that's thinking Indian or Harley, well, here you have a guy that had a freshly used Indian Elite, and I gave it up because I felt like this, for me, was the more muscle bike, fun bike. And I go through great lengths of explaining in my videos on how much this is a sportier, in some ways more nimble, a smaller footprint bike than that Indian Challenger Elite. Which I never even really realized that. So I have videos on that, and it's always the Indian Harley debate, and you're always going to have the people that say the Indian's a far better built bike. Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree that Indian has a great bike. There's no arguing on that with me. I like them all, but for the moment, I'm on the Harley love. You know, what drives that? So what drove my conversation to TV? Well, I mean, the video yesterday, well, because we live in a world more than ever that your eyes look at things and your eyes tell you how to feel. I mean, think about it. Your eyes truly tell you. I mean, sadly, if you see something bad, you probably don't feel that good. If you see something really cool, you probably feel good. Well, that's the whole thing about TV and video and us being able to have images that are then what's it called? Televista? Or so TV is thinking, where did the word TV come from? I tell you what, if you go do your research on TV, it's very, very interesting to read it, but you got to be a scientist. You got to be a chemist. I mean, to understand what they created back in the mid 1800s, I didn't even know this. So the facsimile, you think about fax machines, the ability to take something and copy it and transport it to somewhere else makes me think of Star Trek, when Beam Me Up Scotty. I mean, you remember all that stuff? I hear this guy's car way up the road. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that or not, but some guy just getting it up the road with his F1 Formula car type of exhaust. It's gurgling and popping. Pretty cool, but it's noisy. But anyways, apparently back in like the 1850s, some French guy, it's interesting where a lot of the technology came out of Europe, the England, France, the Paris. It's just if you do a lot of research on things that kind of came from to existence today, it seems to be that European flair that kind of got it going. Not saying the Americans didn't do the same, but the whole point is, so you're going back to the mid 1850s, I think it was, where the first transmittal of an image was transmitted through a electronic device. It's even for me like there's no way. But you really have to go to the late 1800s, really the early 1900s, where they're using the phone line to begin the development of television. And once again, it's cathodes, it's all this technology that I am not in that well, a knowledge of that information. But I was just trying to get a grasp of what's going on and how did television get started. And that's what kind of drove this conversation this morning, because it's very intriguing to read about television, where it really wasn't until the mid the 1950s, really the war, apparently the war, World War I and World War II really kind of slowed down the development of television. And then you read about television from black and white to color, even for me of my age. It wasn't until like 1972 that the broadcast system went to an all-color viewing. So even for me, being the 60s kid, born 1963, and hey, my birthday, good Lord, man. What is today? I can't believe it. My birthday's right around the corner. I'm going to be a whopping 61 years old. Oh my gosh. I get another year older. When you're a kid, you're a teenager, you want to get that driver's license, or you're just a kid, you're excited about that next birthday of growing up. As you get older, you're not so excited because you're progressing. You're thinking, doggone it, can it slow down? I don't want to get another year older. And I think as you get older, I think once you hit your 80s, I think a year is 5 years. I really do. You want to maybe say it's your 90s, but I think as you get older, I think the year is a big difference in your physical capabilities. I think it's just things start to change. I mean, we have a sitting president, a sitting Muppet, that we're all witnessing since he's been elected. Was he elected? Who elected that guy? I don't know. It's kind of a unique situation, this guy that's in office. The whole point is, it seems like we're witnessing his, as each year passes, I would have to say at his age, it's like 3 years or 5 years of aging. That's my own theory. I'm no expert on that. But, back to television. So, once again, it's kind of like if I'm watching the channel, I'm on the other side of this lens, I'd be like, well, what is the television? What's that kind of got to do with the cars and your trucks and motorcycles? Well, it's because back when I was growing up, I can remember the big car shows, and I'm talking about the Andy Griffith Show, the Beverly Hillbillies, the Dukes of Hazzard, the Lee Majors. What was he? All these different shows, but a lot of these shows always revolved around the cars and the trucks. And back then, for me, back in the 60s and 70s, it wasn't the most dominant thing in the world of all these trucks. It was more cars per se. But once again, you saw the television, you saw car racing, you saw the motorcycle racing. So you're able to watch on television all the things that, for me, growing up, and was what made me, what my eyes were excited to see, was car racing or motorcycle racing. I grew up on dirt bikes, and so that was always, to me, you could watch television, and instead of you having to drive there. But think this through: if you didn't have television and you wanted to see like the Daytona 500 yesterday, you would have to drive and be physically there at that. I didn't even watch it. I mean, I just can't do it, and that's the reason. I guess the television's coming up because I'm down here with my family, and I'm just not used to this type of lifestyle, even though I've been here numerous times. But this is such a dramatic change where I don't have the freedom that I have up north. And I'm such a person that's always on a project, and I'm always out in my shop or barn, taking care of my cars or trucks or motorcycles, my business. And then I come down here, and everything kind of like goes to the slow mode. And that's why I bring down all my toys. And a lot of people are like, yeah, you haul these bikes down, and you only ride maybe one of these bikes, and maybe you only ride X amount of miles. Yeah, but this is like my kids. For me, this is my happiness. This just brings like the north to the south. And if I had the big enough, you have no idea years ago where I wanted to get a big ass car hauler where I could have hauled down 2 cars and my motorcycles and trucks. And the downside to that is, you get into the CDL, you get into the commercial license. Only if I had an RV, I wouldn't have to worry about that as much. And yeah, some people be like, you're worrying too much. Well, I was told from my trailer dealer that if I get a triple axle trailer, then you're over the weight limits and you're going to be pulled. You're going to get pulled over. And if you don't have DOT stickers, CDL in your truck, now if I have an RV, that changes everything. So everybody out there that kind of, and I could be wrong on this because it's been a few years now since I really did more research on that, but it's just, I've talked about it before. But if you're an individual who wants to tow a big ass trailer behind your regular old truck and you're over that 26,000, I think it's 26,000 pounds, you're now into CDL commercial license restrictions, and that's radical stuff. But if you buy an RV, that doesn't apply to you. So if I buy an RV and I want to have a triple axle trailer that's 40 feet long or 36 feet long, whatever it is, and I want to stuff all my motorcycles and cars in it, I think you're exempt from that commercial drive. I could be wrong. Somebody could reach out and tell me, no, Mr. Iceman, you're still going to be in a challenge. But that's what I've been told is all the guys that race cars that are going from tracks to tracks up and down the eastern seaboard or whatever it may be, they ended up getting rid of their trucks and they got the diesel pushers because the diesel motor's in the back of the RV, and they started hauling all their race cars because they didn't have to follow these commercial guidelines of driving. Somebody could clarify that. But really the conversation that is, I just want to bring down the love of my life. This just brings me feeling like I have my home from up north down here. And even though I've thought about buying a house down here many times. But for television, once again, what has television done? Well, for me growing up, what I see on television, we didn't have 100 channels. I grew up in the era of ABC, NBC, CBS, and maybe a select few other stations. And what did we, what sitcoms did we watch? It was, Jerry Seinfeld. It was Cheers. It was, King of Queens. I mean, you can go back to the 70s. the Brady Bunch. I'm just trying to think out loud, all the different, All in the Family, the Partridge Family. And once again, I'm just going off the, Sanford and Sons, Three's Company. Once again, I can't remember. But the whole point is, what I saw back there when I was growing up was a lot of funny stuff. Archie Bunker, All in the Family. That was great sitcoms. And I'm sure others on my channel can reach out and say, oh yeah, man, one of my favorite shows that every week I looked forward to watching was this show or that show. And back then, they only broadcast this once a week. But once again, what did we see? What are we seeing with the TV when I'm growing up is, yeah, they had the NASCAR. Well, for me, I'm not the NASCAR junkie guy. So I guess it was the NASCAR back in the late 70s. When did that? Well, NASCAR's been around, I guess, since the 60s, late 50s. But anyways, so, what I saw and what drove me as I progressed in life to be the car nut, the motorcycle nut. What drove that? Where did that come from? What did I see? And I always question that, what gene did I inherit, did I get in my family line from my dad or mom's side that made me into this car fanatic? Where did this come from? Why? Even for me, I sometimes stumped, like, what is it about these vehicles that makes me want this stuff? And where did that come from? What did I watch? What did I see? I mean, I can always remember going to the store and wanting to buy the truck, latest, greatest, whatever month's edition of the Car and Driver or Truck Trend or Motorcyclist or whatever it was. It was about the latest, greatest cars and trucks and motorcycles. And I always wanted to look at that because my eyes, that was the eye candy, as I guess you could say. And as we know, the manufacturers have had a heyday of TVs, and that's what was talked about in the development of TV was you had to have advertisers to be able to pay these broadcasting stations to be able to afford to bring broadcasting to you. And what's also interesting as it talks about the development television is, it's information, it's the news information, but it's also the propaganda machine. And boy, oh boy, wouldn't so many people here on my channel all have to agree that, wow, the propaganda machine, it is so dangerous. And the reason I'm once again focused on this is because my brother, my father, they're watching TV. So here, like I was telling you, on Saturday and Sunday, it rained all weekend long. Well, we're sitting here watching Yellowstone. I've never seen so much freaking Yellowstone in my whole life. Well, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't take it no more. And it's because we're watching all this television. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, man, wow. How do you do this? How do you sit on the couch for hours on end and watch this stuff? I just can't do it. And even the point last night, even though it's cool down here, but I love it. There's a pool right across the way here, and I can actually walk over there to give you a bird's eye view. But one thing I love about coming down here in Florida is I try to get exercise because I'm not moving as much per se. Because if you watch my videos up north, I walk across my barn to my barn. If you think about my property, just walking between my house and barn, that's a little bit of exercise. Some of you laugh at it, but if you do it 10 or 20 or 30 times in a day, it starts to add up. So for me, I come to this pool, and I love this pool because nobody, for the most part, uses it on a regular basis. So last night, the family came over, we got together and had pizza, and if Ted's watching my video, thank you, Ted and Leah, for buying me pizza. The whole family, I offered, but they took it upon themselves to get everybody pizza. So I had a few slices, but after that, it was probably like, I don't know, 5:30. I came over and I swam, and I always have this goal to see how long I can swim. And when I swim, I do like the frog swim. I don't do the real heavy, aggressive, arms, shoulders, kicking. I do more of like the frog type of swimming where you keep your arms and legs under the water and you just pull yourself through the water. So many years I've done this when I'm in the pool down here. So last night was my greatest accomplishment yet. And here comes the noise. I swam for 45 minutes with not stopping, and I did 1,000 strokes of actually, moving. And I could have kept going, but it was getting to be about 7:30, and I just know that my family, we start to wonder if I'm floating in the water instead of swimming in the water. Then it has a nice sauna over there. So cold, we had heavy rains over the weekend. So I got in that thing yesterday. It's like, wow, it's freezing. But I stayed in it. And so last night I got a lot of exercise. And that's one thing I like about this community. That's like the only thing I like about this community is this pool. Because I grew up with pools. And growing up with pools, I always enjoyed swimming. I lived in the pool. I mean, I truly did. I truly lived in our pools. I'm a Pisces. If you're if you believe in all the different signs of who people are and everything else, here comes the guy springing the yards. So isn't this interesting? So what do you think he's got going on? I have no idea. It's just never ending. As he's doing that guy's house. Sadly, that house there was owned by a gentleman that killed himself. Yeah, that guy there, the end house there, very successful man that patented something on how the canning process is done. So he did that many years ago. He was in his 80s and his health wasn't the greatest, and so he apparently learned he had dementia, and he literally sadly this past last year shot himself. But he didn't kill himself. But he eventually died from the injuries he sustained. Sad story, you know. But anyways, yeah, who wants to see that, right? So back to the television. So my whole point there is, I went and swam for, I went in that pool yesterday at like 5:15. I didn't get home like 7:30. But I just love that, and that's the thing. Here's my bicycles. Now, yeah, what of some of those have been used? Yeah, but that was when Julia was younger. And in some ways, I wish I brought my electric bikes down, because those things are a blast. And I probably would have, if I had this truck up north, it's at this 8-foot bed, I would have probably brought my electric bicycles, because when it's all said and done, this is going to have a nice carpeted bed. And up north, I would have done the same thing. And I'm waiting for my carpeted bed. Where the hell is it? That thing's supposed to be delivered, I thought, Saturday, then Sunday, then Monday. Where is it? Anyways, I would have brought my electric bicycles down, because those things, even though people think, oh, but there's no, the electric bicycles I have, they don't move on their own. You have to pedal them, but it's a pedal assist. So I know there's bicycles out there today, like riding a moped, where you don't even have to pedal, and it goes, it's self-propelled. Mine aren't like that. Mine are pedal assist or no pedal assist, but those things haul butt. So yeah, you know what? Next time we come down, if I bring all the toys back down, then yeah. And so in many of years, I've just left everything here at my father's place. And so I'm just not running up and down the Eastern Seaboard, pulling trucks and trailers. And I just come back down and everything's still sitting here. The danger for me of that is, I get up north, anything happens to one of the guys that works for me, then I'm not coming back anytime soon. And that played out last year. Yeah, if anybody is watching my channel, a year ago, January, I left, and I could never get back. And I left a bunch of motorcycles down here, and basically close to 7 months, 6 months later, when I got back, the bikes were not in good shape. It was a pain in the ass. Here's a guy racing this is a character. I mean, literally, there's a guy that's racing oh my gosh. Hey, you got to keep entertained. They're happy, right? So that's a great thing. They got the right attitude, right? So it's interesting how much stuff these guys are going to pick up. I mean, it's so yeah, the noise is here in the neighborhood. Am I noisy? Obviously I am. So television, yeah. So television, more than ever today, I mean, television took the conversation here on my channel this morning that I'm being critical of people watching television. That isn't really what I'm saying. I'm just saying that more than ever in today's society, we have so much information that you can gather from the television that, what do you watch? And that's the danger. These guys are getting a workout today, man. I mean, it's just, what do you think that truck, my truck leaves in the morning, and then by the time it goes around, picks up all this garbage in the neighborhood, what do you think how much do you think this thing weighs? I mean, how many tons? And then, what is the tonnage for these guys here that have to get all this stuff? And I mean, it's just like, wow. Yeah, it's a workout. Yeah, to do that job, like, woo, yikes, right? So I'm getting distracted, aren't I? I'm getting distracted. Wow, this guy's just he's a grunt. Wow. I mean, wow, man. I'm watching all this stuff. There goes the other guy. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so if you live here, guess what? People get to take care of all your stuff, and to a degree, but you pay. I think the association fees right now are $450 a month. I think when my parents moved here, they were $300, but that, you know, that includes your access to the pool, no country club. It's just all you're witnessing garbage. Come by twice a week. They come and cut your grass. They trim all your trees. And after so many years, they repaint all the houses. Hey, enjoying all this knowledge. Well, you know, the thing is, anybody progresses in life. A lot of people like to move into these type of communities because they don't want the responsibility anymore of having to take care of their house. I mean, that's a huge thing, especially you get older. So yeah, so television. What has television done for us? And I think so many people, and that's the other thing I was thinking is, what has television done besides show the true division of our country? And so what I thought to myself, TV stands for two visions. I mean, think it through, or two views. I mean, sincerely, for the most part in our country, we have two views. We truly have the view of one party versus another party, and you have the third view of the independent. But for the most part, forget about politics. It seems like we just have a division more than ever in our country of what the views are, just between. I mean, right now, does anybody really realize? Take my dad's garbage can back up for him, and then I should take my neighbor's garbage can back. Hey, you feel like you're part of the family right now if you're watching my channel. So the two views, and yeah, we have an election year coming up here, and what's going to be the story of that on the different views for who feels is the better direction of our country versus the worst direction. And you know, so once again, these are my neighbors here. Steve had a major brain tumor. He's been blessed. I'm not lying. He had a major brain tumor. He had most of it removed, and they thought it had all removed, and sadly it came back, and he had to have another surgery. But he's doing great, and last time I saw him, I was very concerned for his well-being, because I didn't know if I would see him again. I mean, that's how radical it is, but I have seen him. You saw him the other day if you watch my channel. I put a garbage can right there for him to help him out there and go across the wet grass. Get my nice new shoes all dirty. So yeah, so we have two views, and you know, and just like the Ukraine war, you know, I don't really know a lot about the Ukraine war, but I was reading just a little bit of information this morning, and it's pretty incredible on how we really are involved in a war that's a 10-year war. If you do your research on that, you're going to see that Ukrainians and Russians have been fighting for many years. Somebody else is probably much more abreast of world events, but I just thought to myself, if you really stop and if you really take the time to read what's going on over there, we're in probably a forever war, just about, to the degree. I don't know if I could say that with all the knowledge, but here's the breakout, and wow. And you know what's interesting? My kid now is wanting a Ducati. I was like, what? So she's kind of come to closure that she doesn't want to get that Fat Boy. Yeah, okay. You're good. Yeah, she's kind of come to the conclusion of not getting the Fat Boy. She doesn't want that. One guy reached out and said, don't get that bike. It's not a very good handling bike. What is this all about? Is she going to run me over? The kid gets a kick out of this stuff. Look at popcorn. I mean, look at him, 2 peas in a pod. Look at him. Look, she's laughing. Yeah, there you go. They got Cracker Barrel. Went up to my mother some Cracker Barrel. Let's see if we can help out popcorn.
Your coffee, Dad.
Well, thank you. Don't spill it all over popcorn.
You get it?
Yeah, I was just spilling it all over you. Good Lord. Yikes. 2 peas in a pod.
2 pods and a pea.
2 pods and a pea. I've never heard that one.
Pea.
How much coffee have you had?
Get those pods out of here.
How much coffee have you had?
Not enough.
Okay. All right. There he is. Well, what's the word of the day, Dad? Dad?
The word of the day is oops.
Oops.
What
Okay.
happened now?
What's going to happen now? How'd it go? Is she feisty? Yeah. Here he comes. So here comes, you know, as you're 91 going on 92. I mean, come on. I know there's 91, 92-year-old people out there get around, but not everybody. There's a lot of people aren't even around. Yeah, how many friends do you know that are still around? Yeah, I mean, sadly, we start to witness that. Need help, Dad? Need help? Said you need help?
Yeah, I need it, but I won't accept it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't try to get that coffee out of there. I think I ought to help you with that. Up, here he goes. Here he goes. Look, he's going to reach over. He's going to grab that coffee. Woo! Yikes. He did it good, didn't he? Does he look like John Dalton of Yellowstone from Kevin Costner? I give Kevin Costner credit to writing those script, or I should say producing, whatever it is. I'm not the Yellowstone guy. Whoever's the junkie to that show, I'm sure they have better knowledge than I have, but Kevin Costner, sure, I think it's a pretty cool series. So does my dad have that Kevin Costner, the John Dalton look? Yeah, I think he kind of has that same type of face, if you know what I mean. Yeah, and how do I see this on the television? There he is. Okay, skittle scattle up the way, would ya?
Here's the word of the day.
What is the word of the day?
Things ain't like they used to be, and they never were.
Okay, that's good knowledge.
Think about that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to think about it. Be careful. All right, giddy up in there and enjoy your breakfast.
Okay.
And close the door.
You coming in?
Not yet. I will be. Anyway, so there you go. There's the antics of the day. Hanging out with my dad. If you don't think that's an adventure, it is. So, yeah, so anyways, back to the Ukraine war. I mean, good Lord. And as we all know, that's a major 2 different visions of why we're in Ukraine's war. I mean, you can kind of just start going through the list of things. I mean, it's incredible. Right now, I was reading this morning that the stock market is healthy as heck, and that so many look at this economy that it's going gangbusters, but then there's so many other that have a totally different view. Totally different view. They feel that the economy's just, that much closer to the reckoning day, right? I've heard that for so many years. So the kid, not too bad. That just gets my dad riled up. So I'll go out there and I go pound it down. I'll go find a shovel or something. I just pound it all back down the ground. So, anyways, it's all about the TV. What does the TV do to us? How does it change us? And which it does. And it's a very, but more than ever today, I think many people would say, you know what? I just don't watch TV as much. I'm watching like the YouTube stuff. And I think that's huge. I think that probably more than ever, people have kind of transitioned away from watching conventional television to watching YouTube, like my channel. And for me, like my channel, that's growing, thank goodness. And I see people watching my videos more and more. And so to me, that's a huge thing. And will YouTube be a big hit for the younger generation? Because that's always the concern, is what's the younger generation doing? And that's a big concern for like Harley Davidson. Is the younger generation going to follow the footpath of my generation, your generation? And are they going to be able to bring the product to the market that excites the younger people? I think they are. I think there's a lot of young people out there that love motorcycles. And I think Harley Davidson is kind of keeping that going, even though it's very debatable. But the problem is there's so many brands out there. I mean, there's so many brands. But for me, like right now, just for myself, what would I buy if I could say, all right, because I'm sure you watch my channel and be like, well, you're always buying and selling things. So what would I trade out? What would I trade out for? I mean, I've got such nice motorcycles. I don't know. I can't really see what would make any sense of me selling one of my motorcycles besides just to sell it to get rid of the debt. But other than that, what would make any sense? I've already got the Honda Gold Wings. I got two of them. I got the Tour and the Non-Tour. I got the Rocket 3R. I've got the, why I bought the Indian FTR. Yeah, I know Amy watched my channel. Like, I can't believe you bought that. Why did I buy the Honda CB1000R? Yeah, why did I buy the Honda CB650R back? Just thinking what's back up there north. Why do you have an Indian Chief bobber that you never even ride? Right. You have another Harley Davidson CVO that's the Fast Johnny, but it's just a different color theme on it. Yeah, right, I do. So the whole point is, what would I, see? What would I see that would intrigue me to say, oh, I really want to get that? And for the moment, there really isn't anything. And then you go to the car side, truck side. My good friend Chris said, oh, you bought that Camaro Z28. This just opens up the door now. You're going to start buying Chevy stuff. And I was like, yeah, you never know. So why didn't I buy a Chevy dually or a GMC dually? Yeah, trust me, I was down here trading that F-150 Power Boost. Part of me was like, I should go drive a GMC. I should, go try that out. Yeah, I've thought about it. I drove the Chevy Suburban, and the newer one, it really didn't get me that excited. So, I just like, whatever. All right, that's pretty much it. I'm just talking, keeping the conversation going. Hope others like to hear my voice on a daily basis and try to keep things uplifting instead of not uplifting. And, it's interesting. On this lowrider, on this CVO ST, the seat on the right side, I don't know what's going on, but I can feel on the right side of my fanny it isn't that comfortable. I'm going to have to ride this bike longer. So this bike has a little over 100 miles on it. This bike now has like 80 miles on it. But yesterday, I just really was wanting to ride the Fast Johnny more than the CVO ST. And why is that? And my daughter just loves the way this bike looks. But I offered to let her ride it. I offered to let her ride the CVO ST because it's a lighter bike. And it has a little different position for the handlebars. But she's like, nope. I love my lowrider ST. And she loves it. She really does love that bike. My brother said on Thursday, we're going to do the oil change, primary, and transmission at his house. So probably make a nice little video of us doing that over there. So that's it, everybody. Appreciate, as always, everybody tuning in. As always, I appreciate everybody watching my channel and sharing nice comments. Love the comments. I love the interaction. Dan reached out to me again, and I can't find my Ice Age TV stickers. I am totally like, where did I put those? I can't. I'm not lying. It is so bad. Where the heck? I thought I grabbed. I may not have. So for like Dan that watched my channel, yeah, I got your email. I got your address, but I'm in Florida. I don't think I have any stickers. I want to put on the back of my truck. And I thought I put them in my trailer at my brother-in-law's house yesterday. If anybody's watched my channel, you got to check out my brother-in-law's project on the 1989 Greyhound bus that he bought for dirt cheap, and he's going to make it into his own RV. And it's a long project. Anybody knows these RV restoration, or I should say bus restorations in RVs, it's a lot of work, a lot of time, but he enjoys it. That's his man cave. That's what it's all about. And so I have a whole video of him talking in great depth of his battery charging situation and talking about what he's done to the bus and talking about the bus in general. So check it out. It's my brother-in-law's, or I should say bus adventures, RV adventures, whatever you want to call it. And he just loves that stuff. But anyways, the point of that is I went over to my sister's house yesterday and opened up my trailer. And I also think a 3-inch drop. I think the 3-inch drop is going to kind of match up that trailer. And I couldn't find the stickers. I thought maybe I put them inside one of the cabinets in the trailer. And another part of me says it's in one of these saddlebags. But my daughter would have seen that opening up these saddlebags. Who knows? Anyways, so for like Dan that reached out to me that wants a sticker, you may not see it for a while because I can't find the stickers. Yeah, I can probably order new stickers and have them. New Ice Age TV stickers probably just have them delivered down here faster than before I get back up home. Who knows? I don't know. I'll figure it out. But anyways, I know I talk a lot. I get it. and my coughing is substantially different. It's just incredible, unbelievable. So thanks for all the views and ideas. And what's tomorrow's conversation? I don't know. I'll try to come up with something to keep the channel going, everybody. And sharing the channel with your friends and family and others helps keep me motivated, because then I feel like I'm accomplishing something. And that's what it's all about, is accomplishments. And when I see more viewers and more subscribers, I feel like I'm doing something right. If I don't, I feel like I'm failing, and then it's hard to stay motivated. So please reach out and share my channel with others. And hopefully the content that I give you inspires others as well. So God bless, stay safe, and have a great day.